Hello there, everyone. Welcome to English for Football. Ross here. We're finally going to begin Euro 2020 today, and the opening game is Italy versus Turkey, which promises to be a very good game, actually. There's a lot of tactical aspects that could be at play here, and there's a lot of aspects within Italy's play that makes them one of the favourites of the tournament. So we're going to take a look at both Italy and Turkey's setup throughout this tournament and in today's game too. Who are Turkey's threats? Who are Italy's most promising players? And that will help them to achieve the goal of winning the Euros. So let's get started. So it looks like Roberto Mancini will go with the 4-3-3 that he's been using in the friendlies and the qualifiers. Now, there are some interesting aspects to this play as well. One of those being Domenico Berardi in the right wing position. This is a player who's got a lot of work rate, but he's also very technical, and he offers a lot in the final third for Italy. So I wouldn't be surprised if he turns out to be one of Italy's most important players in this tournament. He's able to drop into this half space here. He can go around the side of the defenders and get in behind. So Immobile will look to get on the end of some of his crosses and movement. Insigne obviously is a very renowned player. He's got the ability and the technical qualities to really hurt defenses. I wouldn't be surprised if he drops into the number 10 role here, or if he actually goes on the outside as well. But he's also capable of getting into the penalty area as well to really cause problems for the opposition's defense. But I think one of the aspects of Italy's play is the centre midfield. That's going to be really interesting to see what Mancini decides to do. They obviously have Jorginho, Locatelli, Barella, Verratti, Sensi. So they have a number of options here. They also have Bryan Cristante, who could come in at some point if they need to go defensive. But I think they'll start with Jorginho as their register. Locatelli has been playing much more recently, and this is a player who's got quite a dynamic set to his play. He's very good in a defensive situation. He's strong in the tackle. He can recover the ball well, but he's also able to get forward and be a bit of a threat in this final third area here. So this could be a really important player for Italy in the midfield, and one that they look to stay with if Verratti doesn't recover. And of course, Barella. Barella's going to be a player who's going to look to ghost into the penalty area and get involved in that final third. Berardi can drop back into the half space here if he needs to, with Immobile and Barella and Insigne making moves into the penalty area. Berardi is going to use that deadly left foot of his to get some crosses into the penalty area. So Barella's going to operate in this area here. When Italy are in attack, I imagine that Locatelli will move into this position here, with Jorginho looking to control the central area. And one of the things that I've noticed is Florenzi doesn't bomb around the right-hand side too much and overlap. What he tends to do is he tends to just cut inside here and tuck in to support the midfield structure, which allows Jorginho to kind of dictate and move to the left if he needs to. Bonucci and Chiellini as the two experienced centre-backs look like they're going to start for Italy. But if they need to, they can go with Bastoni, who's been superb for Italy this year. Spinazzola is a very interesting threat for Italy. He's been very good for Roma this year. The left back is able to get into these spaces here and offer some crosses, which Immobile needs to be prepared to get on the end of. The one concern for Italy, I think, is probably the striker situation. Immobile and Belotti, neither of them are particularly prolific. So they need to really hope that one of these two can get their scoring boots on for this tournament. But I do believe that Italy have a lot of threat in this 4-3-3 system, a lot of ball retention between Locatelli, Jorginho and Barella, with Florenzi supporting. Florenzi is very technical as well. He can use the ball in these spaces. And then, of course, Donnarumma, don't forget him. As Italy progress through the tournament, they may revert to a more defensive structure just to allow them to cope with other opposition's attacks and the qualities they may face. For example, if they play France, they may need to go a little bit more defensive to help out in that respect. One thing they could do is they could drop in Bryan Cristante, who is a defensive midfielder, but has been playing a lot of time for Roma in the centre-back position. So he could drop into here and just sit in front of Collini and Bonucci, just to give them an extra safeguard to allow Jorginho to be a little bit more of a playmaker, even though he is a register and his best position is further deeper. But they could just operate with two in front as well and allow someone like Locatelli or even Barella to just dictate this final third area. They may opt to go with Belotti instead of Immobile in attack as well. But it's something that they may look to, as Mancini has used a variation of a 3-4-3, 3-5-2 in qualifying rounds. So what about Turkey? Turkey could actually be one of the surprise packages in this competition, as they've actually had a very good qualification towards the end. They beat Norway 3-0. They also beat the Netherlands as well. So they're not to be taken lightly at all. Italy, as they are favourites in this tie, they may just want to be a little bit concerned with how Turkey defend and how they set up. So Turkey will go with the strong and aggressive Demiral. I think he's familiar to Italian football, of course. And Leicester City's Soyuncu, who again is a tough and rugged style defender. Selic, who plays for Lille, could be a very good option because he's very tall and very strong in terms of defensive stature. So he may just tuck in a bit more to help protect the defense, whereas Meras may opposite that on the other side. Now, Turkey do play with two defensive midfielders, although Tufan is a bit more of a box-to-box midfielder. So Yokoslu may sit in here and Tufan may just sit alongside him to cover that defense. Now, in defense, Turkey do become very compact and very narrow and perform a bit of a low block to help protect that defense. They did that very well against Norway, where they suffocated Haaland and didn't give him any opportunities to get into good areas to score. So I wouldn't be surprised if Çalhanoğlu doubles up here with Meras or fills into the centre here as well, with Karaman coming in on the opposite side too. So they'll look to stay very compact and make it difficult for Italy to break them down. Going forward, that's probably their best option to stay in the competition, but they do have some threat going forward as well. They're not a team who are super defensive and like to just hope for a set piece or a clean break. Yilmaz, their striker, has been in superb form for Lille this year. He's the top goal scorer, and at his age, he's looking to come in and have one final tournament. With Yilmaz playing this number 9 role here, there's a centre forward. Iziki is a very impressive player who linked up with him at Lille and could be a player of the tournament to watch. So he's going to be operating in this area here. He'll get alongside Yilmaz and link up with him very well, but he can also drift into the half spaces as he's got a very deadly left foot. The problem for Turkey, though, will come in the transition. Can they get into a attacking transition when they're defending deep against a team like Italy, a very good defensive team like Italy as well? Italy are not such an easy team to break down, so it's going to be difficult for Turkey to actually really transition and hurt Italy, especially if they only throw 2 or 3 men forward. However, against Norway, they did, as the game went on, grow into the game, and the likes of Tufan start to contribute in the attack, with Karaman offering space as well. And of course, you can't forget Çalhanoğlu, who is familiar to Italian football. He's going to be operating in the traditional left-hand side position, but he will come inside a lot because of his ability from set pieces and with his right foot. So Turkey have got plenty of threats that could really hurt Italy, but it just depends on how long they can stay in the game for to begin with. I expect them to be going very defensive with Tufan and Yokoslu supporting that defense, with Çalhanoğlu having to chip in with the defensive work too. Karaman and Iziki will look to connect with Yilmaz as much as possible, but I do think it's going to be a game where they have to be patient and grind things out until they can start to have an effect on the game. So it should be a really, really interesting game. The players that I think you should look out for are Berardi from Italy, as well as Locatelli, and of course Spinazzola in the left back position. If he can get round the back here, that would be great. But Celik is very good in the defensive position, so it's going to be an interesting battle to watch there. And for Turkey, of course, I think Yaziki could have a very good effect in this game. If he can get in the spaces in between Italy's defensive lines, they may have a problem, especially with Yilmaz his movement, and his ability to get into goal scoring opportunities. So, should be a very good game to start with. Tell me what your predictions are. Tell me who you think will be useful for Turkey, who is going to really shine in this game. And also, please remember to subscribe to the channel. I'll be giving more videos, more tactical insights that I hope you enjoy and that I hope you find useful. Thank you for watching, and see you later.